afternoon, and welcome to How to Get Your Sexy Back and Fit into Your Skinny Jeans. I'm Donna Crenshaw, your hostess with the mostest. I'm here with Kathy Frost, and we will be starting in just a few minutes. Just go ahead and put into the comments section where you're calling from. And if you're on your lunch break, let us know because we love to find out where everybody's coming in from. Like I said, this is How to Get Your Sexy Back and Fit into Your Skinny Jeans. I'm Donna Crenshaw, and I look forward to meeting each of you. And I know you're going to be excited to hear the information that Kathy has to share with us this afternoon. So I'd like to thank Charlene. Hi, Charlene. It's nice to see you here. So glad you could join us. And Deborah, it's awfully good to see you too. Samantha's calling in from Florida. It's nice to see you, Samantha. I'm sure it is very hot in Florida today because it is miserable here in North Carolina. So I just would like to welcome everyone. We're going to give everybody just about another minute and a half to get started. Very anxious to share all this information. I like to say that Kathy, all of her information surprised me, and I am definitely one of clients because it has really made a difference in my life and helping me to lose the weight for me. So with all of that being said, Janelle, it's nice to see you. Welcome, Janelle. I'm so glad to see you. We've had quite a few to come in, and I'm trying to scroll back up to see everybody. I see that Tabitha's here and Jan's here, and I hope I say this right. Danita. Hi, Danita. It's nice to meet you. Just come on in, and Kathy will be with us in just a moment, and she has the system on how to get your sexy back and to fit into your skinny jeans. So let's give everybody just about 30 more seconds to get in here and get started. Rebecca, hi Rebecca, it's nice to see you. And Melissa and Lee, hey Lee, it's nice to see you here. We're so excited to have you guys here. And here we are. We always like to get started on time. So let me introduce you to Frost. She is a certified integrative wellness and life coach. I was very surprised when what all that really means. And Kathy's going to share that and explain that to us. She's also been an advocate and a leader in health and wellness field for more than 25 years. This lady really knows her stuff. She has served as a wellness coordinator for a hospital. She's a nutritionist and a certified lifestyle coach at a large women's-only medical center and has been the owner of 5 women-only fitness centers. Kathy has personally helped more than 5,000 women to lose weight, get into better shape, and improve their overall health and wellness, and to keep that weight off. Kathy understands what it means to lose weight and improve your health, and it's much more complex than just simple diet and exercise. I love her exercise program. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Kathy Frost to the call. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Donna. Hey, thank you so much for the real nice intro. And just a little bit about me. I am a certified integrative and wellness life coach. What that means is not only do I help women be able to think and deal with the nutritional part of it, but also to be able to help them be able to handle some of the mental things that come through, the emotional, and all of that. And I have new techniques to help women be able to enjoy being able to get those under better control. So with that, let's get started. So I hope that everybody here has been able to grab their cheat sheet on how to get your sexy back and fit into your skinny jeans. Make sure you pull it out, just grab a pen, and we are going to get started. So first I want to talk a little bit about the 5 most important steps to getting your sexy back. And some of them are a little bit different than probably what you've heard in the past. So I want you to be able to know that you can enjoy the foods you love. You should not have to be able to give up those foods you love. You can still have them. You can get off that diet roller coaster once and for all. All the women that I have dealt with, I mean, almost everyone has been on diets multiple times, and they lose the weight, but they gain it back, and they blame themselves. Well, we're going to learn today it's not your fault, but we'll go into that in a minute. And what I really want to be able to help you is to understand that, yes, you can get that sexy back, and you can fit into those skinny jeans, and you can really feel great and never have to diet again. So this is for you if you're just wanting to free yourself from that dieting mentality. You're just sick and tired of worrying about it. You just would love to feel better, get more energy back, feel like you did 10 years ago, or maybe even longer ago than that. It's for you if you really want to do those things, like go to the beach and feel great. You know, maybe it's get down and play with grandkids, or just go hiking and biking and have all the energy that you really long for. And it's really for you if you're frustrated and blaming yourself that, oh, why can't I keep this weight off? You know, why does it keep coming back? And why is it always just me? And it's for you if you just know that you can't live without those favorite foods forever. So think about, imagine, what would your life feel like? How would you feel inside if you could really just enjoy your life and not worry about the foods or what you're eating, or feeling like food is even in control? And what if you could just go to the beach in your swimsuit and feel just absolutely not worrying about what anybody else is thinking? And I happen to love dark chocolate covered strawberries. What if you could eat those and not feel 1 ounce of guilt? Because honestly, you shouldn't. What if you could just get into those sexy jeans and really enjoy your life? And what if you could actually love your body? Because so many of the women I deal with, almost all of them, really aren't in love with their body. When they look in the mirror, they're not happy. But we need to be able to love our body. And imagine how that'll feel when you can love your body. So the most important thing I want to share with you today is it's not your fault. And we're going to come back and talk about this in a little bit more detail in just a minute. But I think you need to know just a little bit about that. This is all going to end today. So a little bit about me. This is my husband CJ and I. We have 3 sons. We have 3 wonderful daughter-in-laws. We have 6 grands that are sons and 1 grand that is a granddaughter. So 6 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. And I love to be outdoors. I love to be in the mountains, and that happens to be where I am today and when I took this photo. But I love the beach and everywhere else. I just love to be outdoors. And as Donna was saying, I was with a hospital in the Midwest. I was a wellness coordinator there, and then I was with a large medical center in Groton, Connecticut, and I was the owner of 5 women-only fitness centers for 14 years. So I really understand that diets don't work. And I also understand it's not the dieter's fault. I have empowered well over 5,000 women to lose weight, to help improve their health. They can get into better shape. They can get their sexy back, and they can create lasting weight loss. And that's the key. The feeling good, having the energy, and keeping that weight off. But let me tell you a little bit about my story, because a lot of people don't understand that I did grow up with a weight problem. In fact, as a child, I was the oldest in a family of 6 girls, and 4 of us were a year apart, and we're kind of treated like a tribe. And so I grew up with ice cream being my friend. I found that it could solve many of my problems, and needless to say, that made for an overweight child, an overweight teenager, and a young adult. But as a young adult, when I was studying nutrition in college, I realized, who's going to take the advice of an overweight nutritionist? Who is? I tried multiple diets, but you know what? They'd last for a few weeks, you'd lose some weight, and then guess what? It would come back on because you couldn't stick with them forever. So I realized that I needed to cut down some of the things I was doing. I also realized that ice cream, it didn't solve everything. It really only compounded the problem. It tasted good when it went down, but man, the guilt and all that afterwards was not fun. But I also knew I was never going to be able to live without ice cream or gelato or my Starbucks or my red wine for the rest of my life. So, sure, I could give it up for a little bit, but I wasn't going to give it up forever. And when I didn't, when I tried to work it back in, the weight came back on. So I realized I needed to cut down, not cut out. And I really needed to create rules that I personally could live by forever. And I did. I lost the weight and I've kept it off for decades. But also, my road is not always rosy. No matter what, life gets in the way at times. And, we might revert back to a few of our older habits for a little bit. But the beauty is once you have created those rules yourself, it's easy to be able to get back on them. And you've learned the techniques to overcome some of that inner critic. And something happened here. I don't know what happened, but let me see what happened. We will get it back up right here. All right, there we go. So that's a first. Anyway, so my road, like I said, was not always perfect, but I have been able to keep the weight off for decades, even going through perimenopause and menopause. I am teaching this because so many other women are wanting to be able to get off that diet roller coaster. They want to be able to learn how they can live forever by creating their own rules. That you can get that sexy back. You can get control of those hormones. You can overcome a lot of them by some of the simple steps I'm going to share with you today. And like I said, I've helped thousands and thousands of women be able to create that lasting weight loss. And my passion is to even help more now. And that's why I'm doing this workshop today. So like I said, the very first thing it's important to do is remember it's not your fault. It is the diet's fault. If you've tried a diet over and over, and the weight keeps coming back, how can you expect different results? Just because they tell you it's your fault, it's not. That's why 95% of people gain back almost or even more. But let me tell you about Tanya. When Tanya first started with me, it was during the holidays. And she's like, I just really need to do this, but it's the holidays. She was shocked that within the first 2 weeks, she'd already lost 7 pounds. And she went on to lose much more. But the thing that she loved the most is that she never felt guilty, that she knew that she didn't have to be perfect, because I encourage women to be able to think about, 80% of the time doing what you really feel you need to be doing. And if you get off the bandwagon a little bit, you know what, you just get back on it. So let's talk about that big elephant in the room. And that's the thing that I mentioned a minute ago, that 95% of dieters regain most, all, or even more than the weight they lost. So wait a minute, if 95% of people are gaining it back, it's not the dieter's fault. It is the diet's fault. And that's what you need to understand today. So let me tell you a little bit about Liz. So when Liz came to me, she had done everything, as many, many women have. And she's like, really, it can't be this easy. But she was shocked that the first month she lost 8 pounds, which she kind of downplayed because she goes, well, normally I should lose a lot more than that. No, you're losing real fat, and we'll go into that in a minute. The second month, she lost 7. The third, she lost 6. She went on to lose 45 pounds. And she goes, I can eat like this forever. So do you want to get your sexy back and fit into those skinny jeans and never diet again? If so, type yes in that Q&A box. Oh, wow, look at those yeses coming in. I know, because so many women that I talk to, they just feel like they've run out of ideas and they've run out of solutions. But I do know that I can help. So please now take out your cheat sheet because we're ready to start going. And as you're taking it out, it's important that you stop and think about, because I know everybody on here has been on diets. I mean, it's really hard to find a woman who hasn't been on a diet. But I want to take and have you stop and think about, first of all, what are your favorite foods? So some of mine are the chocolates. I love my red wine. I'm not real crazy about chips, but once in a while I like them. I like a good burger every now and then. But, what is it? What are your favorite foods? Really stop and think about it. And when you were on a diet before, were you allowed to have them? Because these are some of my favorite foods. I love pizza. I love chocolate. I do love some French fries now and then. I love to be able to know I can eat my cake or cookie and still not feel guilty. So if in the past, when you were on diets, and most people are not allowed to eat those types of foods on their diet, do you think you could live without your favorite food forever? Because I know I couldn't. And so stop and now think about, how many diets have you been on? And if you've been on, say, one of them maybe 3 or 4 times, that would count for 3 or 4 diets. Okay? So, and this is just to be realistic, to help you really stop and think, really, this is the diet's fault. It's not mine. And when you were on that diet, how long did the weight stay off? Because I think it's really important to stop and think about where you were, so you can start getting rid of that guilt right now, so that you know that it's not my fault that I gained it back. It's the diet's fault. And we'll explain that in even more detail in a minute. So, and here's that minute. Your answer to question number 1. There are 2 main reasons why diets don't work. And the first one shocks most people. It is when you lose weight on a diet, 25 to 30% of the weight you lose is lean muscle. That's every time you diet. Now, most people are thinking, well, I'll lose just a little bit of water weight, but the rest is fat. Not true. Yes, you'll lose a little bit of water weight. You'll lose some fat, but you'll lose 25 to 30% of that weight is muscle. So if you only lost 10 pounds, and I know a lot of women I deal with have lost a lot more than 10 pounds, but if you lost 10 pounds, 3 of those pounds are muscle. Or if you lost 20, you just lost about 6 pounds of muscle, or at least 5. So you have to realize that when you're on a diet, you're slowing your metabolism way down, and you thought it was slow before you ever started. So, it's not your fault that your metabolism is slowing. Now, did the diet program that you were on, did it ever warn you that you would be losing muscle with their diet? I have never found one that'll tell you that, but a lot of them now are starting to realize that. But let's sit and really do the math. Okay, so the last diet you were on, how many pounds did you lose? So if you lost 20 pounds, put down 20. All right, maybe it was more, maybe it was less, but put it down. I'm going to use 20 because it's easy math. So if you lost, put down that, so it was 20 pounds. If you divide it by 4, because that'd be 25%, so instead of doing the 30%, 25, that makes it easy. So if you divide it by 4, that means you would have lost 5 pounds of muscle. You multiply that by the amount of calories an average woman burns per pound of muscles between 35 to 50 calories. So for easy math, we'll use the 50, by 50. So 5 times 50 is 250 calories per day. And that's calories per day that you slowed your metabolism by just losing 20 pounds. So that adds up in our hurry per day. So if it's 10 pounds, okay, so it'd be half that. That's still 125 calories. That's still a lot to decrease your metabolism from where it was when you first started. So did your diet program tell you you'd be lowering your metabolism that much? I don't think so. But more importantly, did they show you how to bump it back up? Because we've got to talk about how do we raise it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because I haven't found anybody that has a program that tells them how to raise it. And then the other thing that we need to talk about is maintenance, because what I've also found is that they don't teach maintenance. So what did they teach you about maintenance? Pretty much almost nothing, those are empty chairs. That's because they didn't teach anything about maintenance. There wasn't a real program. And if your diet program eliminated your favorite foods, did they tell you to just avoid them for the rest of your life? I know some that do. They say, oh, you can't ever have this again. But why? You can't live without it, or I knew I couldn't live without it. And more importantly, and this is the part that really bothers me, is how did they make you feel when you first started to have a couple pounds creep back on? What I have found is they usually try to make you feel guilty. And that's where all that guilt around food and eating and, oh, I know what I should do and I just don't have the willpower. Well, wait a minute. It's not you and it's not your lack of willpower. It is the diet's fault. And then I want to really also touch on this because so many people are really skeptical. Do you feel it's possible for you to kick your metabolism into high gear and get your energy back? Be real, because I know that most women are saying no, but honestly, you can, and I want to teach you some of that today. So question number 3. And I'm going to now go into those 5 steps. The first step, and this is the most important step, is what is your why? Oh, wait a minute. Most people say, yeah, they asked me that when I went on a diet. But no, I want you to write down what is your real why. And you need to handwrite it. Put pen to paper, because when we do that, we will have 5 times more success in reaching our goals. It is so important that we write down our why. Now, also it's important that we make our why real. So if you notice on the bottom, a lot of times people do it because they're going on vacation. Maybe they're going to a reunion. They have a wedding coming up. They just want to look better, feel better. But it's an event. And when the event comes, guess what? It's all revolves around food. I mean, weddings do, reunions do, vacations do, and then all of a sudden you kind of go off and then you feel bad and then it starts to gradually come back and that whole thing starts to snowball again. And then I've found a lot of women do it for someone else because somebody told them they should do it. Maybe their husband told them they needed to lose weight, or their doctor, or maybe it was a friend that says, look, you really need to lose weight. But when you're doing it for somebody else, you know what? It just isn't going to really work, because then you really feel resentful for that person. So you need to stop and think about, what's my real why? What will my health be like if, maybe it's for health, okay, first of all, let's talk about it. It might not be, but if it's for health, what will my health be like if I don't do it? What can I do if I do it? Can I do more things? Well, what will my future be like? Will it be better? Can I start to really love my body and nourish me better and really help add that depth to my life? So it's really important you spend some time to really get down that why. And so once you have your why, then because we know that diets have killed your metabolism, it's going to be really important that you boost that metabolism. Because I told you that it decreases because of diets. But I also need to let you know that after the age of 40, you lose a half a pound of muscle per year. It's called the aging effect. So, I had somebody the other day I was talking to, and she was 55. Well, she was shocked to know that, she'd already lost about 7.5 pounds of muscle just because of her age, let alone all of the muscle she'd lost with dieting. So it's important to realize that if you're sitting there and saying, well, we haven't lost that much muscle, but we're still gradually losing it. And that's one reason why going into perimenopause and menopause, it's so much harder to keep it off. So step number 2, which is your question number 4, is to ignite your metabolism. You need to start drinking more water. Yes, water. So I encourage women, the very first place to start is water. And people are kind of shocked because they always feel it's food, but water has so many benefits. And I know from the thousands of women I've dealt with that they really don't drink enough water. And if you're starting to encourage yourself to drink more water, first goal is 64 ounces. And then from there, depending on how much you weigh, depends on how much more you need to drink. But I always encourage everybody to start with water. Have it be plain water or sparkling water. Put something natural in it. It could be berries, lemons, limes, things like that. Have it be natural, but make it sure it's pretty much plain water. But the question always comes up, well, what about coffee and tea? Well, I do encourage women to make sure if they like coffee, drink some coffee. Don't drink it all day, but make sure you start your morning off with coffee because it will boost your metabolism for the morning. If you prefer tea will do the same. In the afternoon, I always encourage everybody to try some green tea because green tea not only will boost your metabolism, but it aids in weight loss, and that's a known fact. So make sure you're including coffee and tea, but they don't count as water. So number 5 question is you will need to start eating more protein. Now, wait a minute. Most women are saying, I need to eat more. Yes, you need to eat more protein. When you eat protein, it keeps you full longer. It nourishes your muscles, but it also takes more calories to digest the protein. And so you really need it because it boosts your metabolism because it takes more calories, but it's also nourishing those muscles and protecting it from losing a muscle. Okay, you really need that. So that's your step number 3. And it can be any type of lean protein. It can be the fishes like the salmons. It can be, tacos or tostados with any type of good lean protein. It can be pork, and it can be even like Greek yogurt, a lot of different fishes, lean beefs, lean pork, lamb, all of those. Just making sure you're having plenty of protein. And then another rule of thumb that I do use myself, but I like women to think about maybe adding that as one of their rules, is whenever you grab something to eat, make sure you pair it up with some protein. So in other words, if you're going to have fruit, like either strawberries or an apple, have some Greek yogurt or some almonds with it. It makes a great healthy snack, and now you're going to keep that protein being boosted up. Or when I'm doing my dark chocolate, I love to have some nuts with it because there again, you've got some protein with it. Step number 4 is the answer to number 6 is it's important that you get more sleep. Now, I know I pretty much deal with women. I do deal only with women and today, and that we are all super busy. And so many women say, but I don't have time to get more sleep. However, we know that if you sleep, you need to sleep between 7 to 9 hours per night. And when you're in that frame, you will boost your metabolism. If you're getting less than 7, you're also contributing to lowering your metabolism. So at least strive for the 7. Now we know that if you're over 9, that also lowers your metabolism. So I always suggest try to get between 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And the other important thing is if you're worried about, I don't have time to get that much sleep because there's too much to do, literally there are lots of studies that show that you will be more productive, you'll get more done by having more sleep. And sleep has also then, of course, been shown to really help weight loss. So to get that weight going down, we need to be getting the sleep. Question number 7 is step 5. And another way to deal with changing hormones is you could also add some strengthening for those muscles. Yeah, not supplements. I have so many women saying, what all do I need to be taking? Well, I don't push supplements. I don't push artificial foods or anything like that. It's so important we learn to eat the foods we love. We learn to be able to eat real foods. But strengthening our muscles, it doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need a health club membership. I know from having 5 of them how hard it is for women to find the time, even if it's only to be there for 30 minutes. You still have commute time on the beginning and on the end, and you've committed at least an hour if you're going to do that. I really don't feel it needs to be a 30-minute workout because we know that simple things can add up. You can learn to do things at your desk. I personally love a Simply Fit board. It's 10 minutes. It's a total body workout. Or you can use bands and things like that. It can be easy. We're talking anywhere from starting out to 2 to going up to 10. We all probably waste more time than that on Facebook. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hard. You don't even have to break a real sweat. So we know that strengthening our muscles will also decrease the age of our muscles. And that was in a study by Miriam Nelson in the mid-90s, where she showed you could take a 60-year-old muscle and make it look like a 40-year-old muscle by just strengthening it. And so we can decrease the age of our muscles. It also is going to improve our shape so that we don't have saggy body parts. It's going to keep your bones stronger. It keeps that metabolism higher. And it all, having more muscle, helps you burn more fat. So the 5 easy steps to get your sexy back and to fit into your skinny jeans is start off with writing out your why. Then drink more water. Eat more protein, get more sleep, and strengthen your muscles. It's interesting because all of this has to do with eating more and drinking more, not less. So, question number 8. What will be your first step to overcoming your slow metabolism, start creating weight loss starting today? What's going to be your first step? Now, I know in the past when people go on diets, they change everything all at once, and I encourage you not to do that. I encourage you to do something that you're going to find relatively easy. And I probably would encourage you to start off with just adding more water because it's easy. And so think about doing something like that. So number 9 then, and this is where you're putting the pen to the paper, is my goal for this week is to. So are you going to be adding the water? Are you going to be adding the protein? Are you going to be getting more sleep? Going to try and do a little strengthening? What are you going to do besides making sure you write out what your real why is? So we've come to that fork in the road. You can do the trial and error and do it yourself, or you can get results more quickly. And that's why I've created the Never Diet Again program. Now, let me tell you a little bit about first who it's not for. It's not for the person who thinks they know what they should be able to do, but they just can't stick to it. And so they want to keep going back to the same old, same old. And unfortunately, that's kind of the definition of insanity. But, if you're sure that you know what you should be doing, well, then it's not for you. But it is for you. If you want to get your sexy back, you want to feel great in your skinny jeans, you really want to be able to get out there and feel good. So let's look at the Never Diet Again program and what all it involves. Well, first of all, it's a step-by-step and day-by-day guide to supercharge your metabolism starting the first day, because supercharging your metabolism is so important in being able to create that lasting weight loss. It's a 4-week program. It's delivered to your member portal. So you'll be able to go in and use it as much or as little as you want. And week 1, you're going to be in the fast lane by supercharging your metabolism and creating that lasting weight loss. And then in week 2, it's your Never Diet Again plan, where you can have your cake and eat it too. You can eat the foods you love and still lose weight. And it's not just about eating greens and tofu. Week number 3, and this is one where my real, I want to say, my certifications really come in and are of value to you, because when we're eliminating our food traps and triggers, we're starting to get into some of those emotional things. And it's so important that you learn some new tips and techniques to be able to deal with those, and to have an Eat with Caution guide, because there are no forbidden foods here. You should be able to understand what you're eating, and some foods do slow your metabolism, so I want you to know that that doesn't mean you can't eat them. It just means you might not eat them quite in the same amount, the quantities or the frequencies as maybe you have in the past, that you can get over that roller coaster and on with your life and not worry about dieting or guilt again. And talking about guilt, that's the big thing we deal with in week 4. It's guilt-free eating for life. And there again, my integrative techniques are going to be able to help you deal with the guilt that has been, I want to say, placed upon you, that you know that you can take and eat your favorite foods and not feel guilty about them. You can get your sexy back and fit into your skinny jeans and never diet again. And so what do you get in this program? Well, this 4-week program, it's delivered to your member portal 1 week at a time. Each week is divided into units, somewhere between 4 and 7 units. They're between 5 and 10 minutes a piece. You can sit down and do a bunch of them at once, or you can do them one at a time. It doesn't matter. It's a video recording and an audio. I have people that listen to it in the shower. Sometimes they listen to the same one time and time again just because it helps. There's a fast action summary for each session and an easy fill in the blank for each module. And then you're going to get your success toolkit. It's going to supercharge your quick start guide, the simple balance plate planning chart, 5 methods to handle those emotions, new techniques to silence that inner critic, some simple ways to start your day right, and some Never Diet Again success design plans. Plus, you'll have a bonus weekly Q&A call with me. It's live. If you can't make it, you can send in the questions. I'll answer them for you. It will be recorded, so you can always go back and listen. And email support as often or as much as you want, so you can really have all of those questions answered. And then we have a bonus, getting your move on. It's not complicated, a couple of minutes a day. You're going to be amazed at how much that can change your life. And then bonus number 4 is a daily metabolic booster, where each day it's going to help you be mindful to do this to keep your metabolism going even higher. And then number 5 bonus is a 30-minute planning session with me. as you're completing the course, so you can have that lifelong design. So the important question comes down to, what does this life-changing program, what value does it actually have for you? What does it have for you? But the good news is, I know everybody always worries about, well, what's the cost? I have created a very special price for you today only, because I know how you are just wanting to jump in, to get that metabolism going, to start creating that lasting weight loss, and to get your sexy back. And so I'm going to share the special price in just a moment, and you're going to love the special price. Let me just tell you a little bit about the value. It's a big value. You're going to get the program, the tools, all my support, all of the different bonuses. But what I have done for you is more than what I do even on my website. The value for you is great, but the cost is only $97. For that $97, you're going to have $500 savings plus another over $3 on the bonuses. All you need to do is type in NeverDietAgainSpecial.com into a new tab, NeverDietAgainSpecial.com. Just open up a new tab on your computer and type it in, and you're going to be on your way. So you will receive the Never Diet Again program, your toolkit, all of the bonuses, and this is the workshop special of the $97. NeverDietAgainSpecial.com, just for $97 today. So click now to enroll, and I will be more than, I forgot almost to tell you about the No Worries Guarantee, that if you attend the workshop modules, you complete the worksheets and the assignments, you implement a new change each week, and you don't lose weight, I will provide a full refund after our 30-minute private bonus session. So what do you have to lose other than weight? Click now to enroll in the NeverDietAgainSpecial.com. That's NeverDietAgainSpecial.com. I can't wait to see you on the next Q&A call. Oh, and I almost forgot to just remind you what all you're getting: the fit into your skinny jeans, getting your sexy back, never diet again. You'll be able to live the life you love just for $97. And I did throw in a bonus fast action. It's my newly released digital book. It has over 21 days of metabolic boosting recipes and much, much more. These recipes are family friendly, so there's no worry about what to eat. This is the live on air bonus, and you can also get that if you sign up right now by going to NeverDietAgainSpecial.com. NeverDietAgainSpecial.com. And with that, we are going to take any of your questions. And Donna, are you ready to come back and answer any questions?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
So it's been real exciting. There are lots of questions. So I'm going to try to get everyone's questions to you. Teresa wanted to know, did she hear you correctly that there are no supplements that she needs to take?
That is correct. I do not push any supplements. If people are doing some, well, that's up to them. But there's no special supplements, no special foods. We have to be able to get through our life eating the foods we love and being healthy.
Okay, Marilyn wrote, how can I change my eating habits? I don't want to lose weight, but I do want to tone, tighten, and stop the junk addiction.
Junk addictions are a good one. And a lot of people have them because a lot of the junk food really causes the addiction. So by taking and just doing simple things like starting with the water and having the more protein, you're going to find that you can overcome those addictions. And it's all about creating better balance in your food choices. And then we have to stop and think about, well, with junk food addictions, sometimes we're dealing with some inner criticisms and some emotions and things like that. So it's really important that we learn some of those techniques to be able to deal with those emotions or deal with that stuff going on in our mind and being able to really love our body. And so I know that you will learn a lot about getting out of that junk food addiction alley and into creating better balance in all aspects of your life.
Okay, Vanessa wrote, why, even when I don't eat anything for days, am I still not losing weight?
That's a really good question, because actually she's starving her muscles, and when you're not eating enough, your body will use your muscles for fuel, not your fat. Fat was put on our bodies to help insulate us, but it's also there to be the last source of energy before we die of starvation. So if your body's in the starvation mode, it's not going to burn fat. So we need to be able to work together to get you eating enough so that you start to burn fat and not be wasting muscle. So yes, we can really help a lot on that.
Okay. Alice, I feel for you. Let me share what Alice just wrote. She says, for the last 2 years, she's lost weight. She was down to 110 pounds, but she started to put it back on. Now she's up to 175 pounds. She's not eating. She's trying to keep it off, but she feels like she's at war with her body. I can understand that.
And that happens to so many women. As we get a little older and our hormones start to change, the metabolism just really slows down. And like I've been explaining during this program, the most important thing we can do is learn how to get it jump-started, not just gradually. We want to really kick it into high gear, because if we're just doing it gradually, it's going to be really hard to notice. But by kicking it into high gear with the water, with the sleep, with the protein, with a little bit of strengthening, we can make some big changes. And so yes, you will love this program, because it's going to really help open your eyes to saying, wow, this is simple. And it's just easy once you've decided that you really want to take and create lasting weight loss, not just, another diet.
Okay. Okay. Ellen Marie, this is a little confusing for me. She is 55. She's had a gastric sleeve put in on February the 2nd, 2016, and she's at a dead stall since April.
Yes, so there again, a lot of times I hate to say how many women I've dealt with that have had some form of a weight management surgery, I guess is the easiest way to put it, a weight loss surgery. Unfortunately, there again, they're losing a lot of muscle. Even though they're losing weight, a lot of it is muscle, and it's probably at least 30% muscle because of the starvation modes. There are a lot of things we can be doing. We do them a little bit more gradual, but I have helped a lot of women who have had gastric bypass surgery, gastric sleeves, and the bands, all of those, because they really, in the long run, are not any much more successful than all of the diets you've been on, and you have to be able to deal with some of the extra things, like we spend time dealing with our emotions and time on that inner critic, because you need to be able to learn those techniques. It's not just all about the food, how much you eat and how much you move. We have to be able to get into the whole depths of all of that, and that we can actually really do. And I would love to work with you more on that.
All right, that kind of seems to be all the questions right now.
Awesome. So thanks everybody for being on. Please go to neverdietagainspecial.com. I look forward to seeing you all in the program, and thanks for spending this afternoon with me. I greatly appreciate it. I know your time is so valuable. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thanks, Donna.